not much has actually been heard about Nigerians living in South Africa, which is at the moment the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic in Africa. Could you briefly give us the situation reports with regards to the Nigerian community in South Africa at this time, with regards to how they are affected?
Nigerian community in South Africa are not affected in terms of the infection and death rate. So far, so good. We have not had any case of Nigerian death as a result of coronavirus. Also, the infection also, we cannot ascertain that there is one Nigerian that have been infected, even though we are actually in contact with the Nigerian Doctors Forum, who are part of the medical fraternity here in South Africa. They are actually scattered in different structures of the medical line in South Africa. So we are in contact with them, and there is no one, because we wanted to monitor in order to give assistance where necessary. But where it affects our people is the area of economy. The businesses of many people have been put on hold. I can say that it has negatively affected the means of livelihood of many Nigerians, being that majority of Nigerians are engaging in trading and informal businesses here, most especially those who are not having a capital to actually make their business a kind of a structured one. Also, it also affected people as a result of no means of livelihood. It affects people in terms of feeding. Quite a number of people are not even asking for anything, because the government of South Africa have said that the landlord should not actually bother any tenant. So nobody is evicted now from their home, but the debt is still there, which is going to be aftermath of the coronavirus. The good thing is just that at least the debt relief is that you are not going to pay it now that you don't have the money. But what you cannot differ, what anybody cannot differ, is actually food, which is hunger. And that is what led to ROS, the Nigerian Union of South Africa, to come up with a program. We call it lockdown, NUSA lockdown relief packages.
Before I crave your indulgence, before we go into what efforts you're actually making with regards to providing relief, a lot of concerns or questions have been raised that Nigerians living and working and schooling in South Africa appears to have been abandoned to their fate by the Nigerian government as the impact of the corona pandemic bites harder in that part of the world. Could you respond to this, sir?
Yes, we have been receiving a lot of calls, and so far so good. There is nothing concrete or nothing tangible that we can say that the Nigerian government officials have been able to do. Though they have limited resources and what they can do, but the little that needed to be done has not been done by them, irrespective of the fact that the government at home is trying everything possible to actually give some level of relief. And the only thing that we have heard from them is that those who are willing to go back home, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs has directed, that those who are willing to go back home should contact the embassy. There is a letter in that regard circulated. So we believe that maybe they are still planning. Maybe they have a plan for us that immediately after the lockdown, they'll be able to roll it out. But for now, lots of people are actually yearning for their leadership and then for them to actually come to their head. We have not gotten anything tangible to report about them.
All right. So what efforts are you providing at this point in time in order to provide relief for Nigerians who are impacted based on this pandemic?
We look at it and then we had to assess the situation. After assessing the situation after the first week, we came out on the conclusion that what is more important now is actually feeding, because if nothing is done to that, it can lead to quite a number of things that will not project the name of our people very well. The crime rate and all these fights and all these attacks, counter-attacks and so on has gone down to almost zero level. So what people are now clamoring for is food. So what we did as the national executive is to take leadership and then get some food packages that include 10 kg of rice, 5 kg of mealie meal. We have bread, eggs, 2 crates of eggs. We have quite a number of things there, like the tin, baked beans. We have milk, basic things that can actually help people to potato, tomatoes, and so on. So we started the distribution in Victoria. We extended it to Johannesburg, to Polokwane, and then other provinces. The only province that we did not touch is Western Cape. But all the other 8 provinces, we have been able to reach out to people in major cities there. And the thing is ongoing because this is a pure, this is an initiative of Nigeria, and it's bankrolled by private individuals. It's just the citizen that find it very difficult to swallow that some people can go without food. So we don't have any support from the government on this regard, and we are hoping that they will still come to our aid. So now the people that we are actually giving this to are vetted, because we use a WhatsApp group wherein you send your information, we vet you, and we know that truly you are in need of it. Then we deliver where we can. Where we cannot, we have an assembly point where people can come, because the lockdown in South Africa is actually a partial one. You can move if you want to buy food, and there are some people like Nigeria has a permit to move around to deliver those goods. And so that's what we have been doing so far, and then we want to go further, which we are going to unveil by next week, what we are planning to actually help our people, mostly businesses that have been affected.
Oh, fantastic. One of the questions that we would like to find out is with regards to testing. We know that South Africa has a high capacity, testing capacity, as a matter of fact. And what about testing? Are Nigerians being tested, and are they receiving adequate medical treatments for those who are affected?
We can actually give kudos to the South African government. In times of this infection, this pandemic that is actually having effects on every aspect of life, the South African government have not been discriminating when it comes to the medical attention, to the best of our knowledge. The testing, those who are interested to get tested, that cannot wait for them to come because they are going house to house and they have their own plan. They've tested hundreds of thousands. And when it comes to attention, there are toll-free lines that you can call that will give advice. There is a particular website that is dedicated to get information at a go. There is a WhatsApp mechanism that is set up that immediately you type what you want, it will reply you with the correct response about the government. So they are on top of it, and there is no discrimination so far. Based on our investigation and our moving around, there is no discrimination about it. So everybody is being given adequate attention, but there is no Nigerians that we have seen that has this coronavirus up to now.
Okay, great. Let me quickly just go back to your relief effort, as a matter of fact. What is the focus of the relief effort at this time, especially? Are you looking at people who are Nigerians who are actually vulnerable, Nigerians whose business have been impacted? And what's your focus at?
Our focus majorly is on the needy, those who are vulnerable. Some people, their business are impacted, but they can still take care of themselves. Some of them contributed to the relief program. Quite a number of big businesses that are owned by Nigerians are closed down because they did not form part of the essential service that can open. So such people are not really, we cannot really assist them at this point. But those who cannot, those who are vulnerable, who cannot afford it. Let me give you an instance. Majority of those who are living in Victoria, Sunnyside, Victoria West, and Central, Majority of Nigerians there, they are petty traders, and large pool of them are engaging in this hairdressing and barbing of hair. So now these people does not have capital to actually be big. So they go on the street on a daily basis and pick customer and get money to feed and to pay their bills. But now, since the starting of this lockdown, their means of livelihood has been impacted negatively. Such people cannot even feed themselves, not to talk about paying their bills. Those are the people that we concentrate more on. So also in Johannesburg, some of our people engage in businesses that does not even up to 1,000 rands. That's about 20-something thousand naira. And they go out on a daily basis to make ends meet, send their children to school with it, and feed themselves, pay their bills. But now they have been locked down for about 26, 27 days. So there is nothing, and they don't have means to actually assess the government relief program in South Africa. They don't have means to even get loan from bank. So there is no any kind of a structural relief for them in terms of their business, in terms of their livelihood. So now what we do is to actually identify them through our structures, identify them, and we are able to reach out to them as we are getting them. Also, we send out messages at the second week when we started that all other organizations of Nigerian origin should do same, which I can give kudos to Nigerians, organizations and the leaders. They came to the party. They are also distributing these things now, from the Yoruba groups to Igbo groups to professional organizations like the Doctors Forum. All of them are coming on board, and even town unions, they are coming on board to actually, in response to our cry that a lot of people are in need. And this is what we cannot do alone because of limited resources.
Thank you very much. Let me now finally ask, what do you think needs to happen with regards to providing relief from the Nigerian government especially? Have you reached out to them, and what efforts are also being taken in order to get their attention, in order to provide relief to Nigerian community and support your efforts?
We believe that all we need is to call them, to call on them, and we have been using various mediums that we have to call on them to say that there are quite a number of things they can do. Rallying Nigerians at this point is one of the things that can be done, and trying to get a kind of a relief, because there are funds that can be accessed in different places. Their weights can be used to actually get funds even from businesses. So the keeping quiet or the secret policy that we are not in because I don't want to say that they've not done anything, like I said, but there is nothing we can hold on to for now, because there are medium of communication where they normally use. They will issue out a letter, issue out an information so that Nigerians can know what they are doing. If there is no help from them, people will cry out, and it will look as if it's an attack. It is not an attack on any of the officials. It is a call, a wake-up call. That's the way I would want them to see it. There is a wake-up call that your citizens are actually not finding it easy in this land. So the honors is on them to use their good offices to help Nigerians who are in need. And they should actually as well open up to the community and not to their friends and cronies alone. They should open up to the community at large, and not that, oh, these are the group that I want to deal with. These are the group I want to. This is a period wherein we should be more united, because we have actually showed the way even to them, because Nigerians in South Africa are more united than before. Nobody is talking about this organization, you are Yoruba, you are Igbo. What we are actually after is how do we help ourselves? because help will not come from anywhere. The Somalians are helping themselves. The Ethiopians are helping themselves. South Africans are helping themselves. So Nigerians cannot be an exception. And so if we people can be able to come together and be helping each other even in our needs. So I want to say that our government also, our government officials who are employed because we are here, they should stand up at this point and provide that leadership.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adetola Olubajo. We appreciate whatever sacrifices and efforts you're making in order to provide relief for Nigerians in South Africa. And we hope we can get back to you as the situation unfolds.